everybody. This is Todd Winger from ROCKFIEND, and I'm here with the bass player of all bass players.
Oh my God. You're so kind, Todd. I'm flattered. Thank you, brother.
So you've just embarked on the European leg of your world tour. And I gather you're a little bit jaded, you've been traveling, and you've only just arrived at your hotel. How are things in general with you right now?
Yeah, there's a lot of upside in that. You can imagine after 23 months, give or take a few weeks of no action, no activity, music-wise. I mean, I did a couple of albums and all that. That's a conversation all on its own. But to play live, which is where I thrive. I love it on stage. I really dig it so much. It's my favorite thing to do, to be honest. So there's a lot of good stuff. But as you can imagine, when we decided to move forward with the dates here in Europe and in the UK, coming up in November, this is number 3, bro, where we build it, we set it up, and then it goes. And then we build it and set it up, and then it goes. So there's a lot of work involved, a lot of energy. And to make a long story short, I'm not jaded, but I'm trying to be as optimistic and as possible. So anyway, it's one of those things where I just go on with whatever is going on at the moment, and try to deal with it as best as I can. Coming to Spain was quite an adventure. It has been. A lot of good things, a lot without getting into details, but things are a bit harder here. That's all I want to say. And I knew this coming into Spain, and I decided to start here to fly the boys from England and from Sweden to have a day of rehearsal and all that. The upside, right, with all the stuff. Let me turn the phone off. With all the canceling, I'm really surprised because the timing was perfect. Last week, I flew in on Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. The boys came in on Friday, rehearsed. That weekend, that Saturday, the restrictions went from 50% to 65, 70%.
Right.
And mind you, I mean, I'm not playing massive venues, but that makes quite a difference for somebody like me that wants to play to a decent sized audience. And it went from sitting to standing. So,
brilliant.
Yeah, so the ticket sales went, 50% to 85% like that. So we're selling out. That's what I wanted to say, which looks really good. I'm selling out. Huh?
It feels good too.
It feels good for your psyche, and when you think about all the work that's involved, right? From traveling this far, it's good to be rewarded like that. There is a business side, and obviously I like to think that sometimes I'm a good businessman, but I'm in this for the music, bro. I got in it for the music way back, and I'm still in it for the music, and it's really validating. That's the word. You get validated when you go through all the stuff that you go through, and then you get on stage and the people out there, the audience is singing your lyrics and they're going bananas and they appreciate that somebody is showing up, and so I'm being told by the promoter that we're like the first international act coming through Spain.
Okay.
So there's a lot of good things going on, doors opening up, which is going to set up my release for the new album for 22, which is why I'm doing this. And so, all in all, 80% of it is great. And the small percentage is hassle here and there and hassle there. But the other thing is I speak the language. Hablo el español perfectamente. Entonces, me divierto mucho. I have a blast trying to remember my mother tongue. It's a blast. It's getting re-educated, and the brain kind of trips on stage. I'm trying to speak Spanish exclusively, and I get stuck, you know. But there's a lot of variables and a lot of dynamics going on. All in all, I'm happy we started here in Spain. And I'm hearing these. We have two more shows, and sold out.
Fantastic.
You know,
that's really good. Really excellent.
That's a long answer to a short question. I could have said yes or no.
That gives me a head of job, so I appreciate that. I love the long answer. I like hearing, you know, just your side of it, not just yes, no.
Yeah.
Like you saying about Spain, the drummer in Collateral, he lived in Spain for a long time, and whenever we did the Bon Jovi cruise, which was around the Mediterranean, and suddenly he was just speaking Spanish, and I didn't know, and just
oh my gosh.
Out of the blue, he just starts talking to, you know, the fans that are coming out, and they really like embrace that he was giving them the time in their language.
Yes.
Expecting them to speak English.
They love it, man. They appreciate it, because same thing with me. Even though, you know, I've been doing this for 85 years at least that I can think of. People haven't put two and two together that Mendoza, you know, and I grew up in Mexico. So it's a trip. Speaking of, this is a good time to plug the book. We're coming up with a little. We're coming up with a little book. My friend Mark Allison came up with the idea. We've been talking about it for a little bit, and it's going to be more of a pictorial thing, kind of depicting this, you know, where I came from. There's pictures of me as a kid, which is pretty scary. With my grandma and my brother and my sister and my dad at very cool shots from 1925, you know, black and white. But so we start there, and then a little story, you know, kind of talking about how the music came into my life and all that, all the way through now. We're going to end up with the fact that I got recruited by Journey, which is pretty amazing. So, you know, a lot of cool things. So that's going to be available. You go to marcomendoza.com, and if you're interested, and we got this little thing going, Todd, that if you have, this is great. I think it's a brilliant idea. If you have a selfie, like I'd love to take selfies for a long time. So there's got to be hundreds, if not thousands, out there globally, right? So if you have a selfie and you want to be part of the book, you'll be included in the book. But you got to come. So you go in, and so we don't know how many pages we're going to end up with, but so it's a cool marketing tool to get the profile to grow it and incentive and motivate the fans a little bit. So we're doing that, and that's going to be released when I finish at Monster Fest. Are you playing? I haven't checked. Are you guys doing Monster Fest?
No.
You're doing
Rockstock.
Rockstock. That's the one. The day before.
Yeah.
So I'll see you there, bro. Absolutely. I love what you guys do, man. It's amazing. We were so looking forward to it before, and then right? It went up.
Yeah, but I mean, regarding the book, I think that's great, especially with taking it back to like you as a child. And again, I think the fans love to relate to like the personal side of things.
Yes.
It's not necessarily like what you're cooking for breakfast. I mean, they love that anyway. But as you as a kid,
there's a bit much of that, if you ask me. But that's another interview. With all due respect, and I don't mean it in a judgmental way at all. I mean, everybody's got their little niche, and you know, you find your thing, and if it makes you happy, that's all that matters. But I'm like, man, it'll be boring because I never had breakfast. What do you have for breakfast? A protein drink.
What color is it today?
I know. What color is it? What's in it? And then that's it. All the info's out, you know. But I hear you, Todd. I didn't mean to interrupt, bro.
I just think that fans love to relate. Like, if you were a child and, you know, you went to bowling at this bowling alley, or you played football, at this, whatever, people would think, wow, you know, like I used to do that as a kid. And
Exactly.
it becomes a reality that you are just another guy, with respect, one of the best guys in the world and singers. But
oh no, thank you, brother. But
you're just standing on 2 feet, you know, and people love
we are. We're humans, you know, and some of us have taken some paths in life that kind of fulfilled our dreams and hopes and all that, and it takes a lot of courage. So my hat's off for people like you and anybody that's in the business. And I would consider you the younger generation, because you're coming, you know, after so many years of rock and roll on the planet, and I give you guys a lot of credit, because absolutely, man. And especially when you're doing stuff that identifies with people and all that, it's so important. I think music is more important than we realize, in the depth of things. If we really start thinking about it and get deep, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, how valuable it is to have music around. And they call it música en directo here, which is direct, live. It's so important. And us that were in the business on the inside, we kind of start taking it for granted. We just, you know, but especially now, this is the other point that I wanted to talk about, was after the 22, 23 months of non-activity, to come out and realize how hungry and thirsty people are, man. They're just like loving you, you know. It's amazing. So it's a cool thing. I'm very happy. I'm very happy that I'm out here. I'm exhausted because I've been out of shape like everybody else. And as you start getting older, you know, but I'm okay. I'm trying to stay in shape, eat right, and resting is that's the big question, you know, not enough rest. But all in all, man, I'm having a blast. I'm happy I'm here, you know.
What are you traveling? So while you're in Spain, are you just in like a minibus type of thing, or you got?
Well, we had an option. I've been here, I want to say 4 or 5 times with my solo thing, sporadically, sometimes 2 dates, sometimes 3, 4. And usually Spain comes in between the longer dates. So I've had some good experiences again, and then some bad ones where it's not cost effective to do that, because the you know, the business here is just not conducive for the budget to be larger. That's to say, I'm trying to be politically correct here. So you got to make it work some way or another. And we travel by train and fly, you know.
Okay.
And we try to book things ahead of time. One of the things that I started doing a few years back, and it seemed to work, was to have opening bands provide the backline.
Yeah.
Instead of buying into a tour, which I was totally against from the beginning. And I've been in big bands where other bands buy into the tour. I get it. There's a business side. But at my level, my solo thing, I found it too much, because, you know, we need to help each other. You know, we need to help each other one way or another, create good karma, you know, good vibes. And I found that if there's a band out there, and there's quite a few that are just stepping into the business and they have to buy into a tour, the money's just not there. So that takes away the creativity, right? The inspiration that gets rid of all of it. So I figured, well, this way we all win. You guys provide the backline. I don't have to go through the expense of flying stuff around, traveling with the gear, with with one of those mini buses or whatever. So, you know, they provide the backline. They make sure it's there for sound check. It's all set up. And my boys go in, set it all up. I come in, boom, within 20 minutes, 15, we're done. Showtime. They set it up, they break it down, they travel with it.
Perfect.
And what I try to do is I try to work with bands that are on my label, so that we're all helping each other. You know, Target, Mighty, which is Viva La Rock. And my next album's coming out with that label too next year. So everybody wins, and they're very appreciative. of the opportunity to have, because otherwise they wouldn't have that vehicle to play their music. And some of these acts, man, some of these bands are killer. They got great vibes. They're together. They're hungry. The energy is on fire. And I'm like, that inspires me too. Because I go back a few years and I go, wow, if somebody had given me a break, me and my beginning bands, given us a break to do that, I'd be jazzed too.
Absolutely.
I'd be really excited. So it's good, man. At the end of the night, I walk away feeling like we are trying to help this live music community continue in my own little way. When I come to the UK, that's what it is. So everywhere I go, I try to do that. And it allows my budget, it gives me a little more wiggle room,
of course,
if you will.
Yeah.
So it seems to work. And I've discovered a lot of great bands, bro, along the way. A lot amazing. And I'm going, a few of them, I won't mention, it doesn't matter, where you open the door, they get in and they keep going and you come back and they're like, I'm like, can I support you, brother? Because that's how the business is, right? And that's a beautiful feeling, because you go, wow, I remember, man, we took them on the road. How cool is that? I've shared this story with some of the big cats. I've been very lucky, very blessed to play with some pretty big cats, right? And Ted Nugent, who's been, I would say he's been around longer than anybody else I played with, even longer than David Coverdale, even longer than other cats. So Ted's got some stories, bro. And he supported and he opened the door for a lot of bands that we know are huge today. Okay. He was the guy that kind of said, you guys got a great vibe, you got great music, come, let's go. I've got 10 gigs in the East Coast, come do it. And all these guys love him. I can mention two, Aerosmith and Scorpions.
Wow.
Scorpions' first run in the US was supporting with Ted. And Ted and management took him and said, come on, let's go. So Dave Klaus has mentioned that to me, and Matthias, and it was before Matthias, obviously, but they're great. It's great stories, man. So I'm kind of reciprocating. Take a little bit, give a little bit back. At the end of the day, money is only valuable to buy shit, and you could never have enough shit. What you walk away. But at the end of the day, when you're crashed and you're sleeping in your own skin, you look at what happened that day and you go, we did a good thing today. And that's what fuels me, right? That's the music business, man. The good side.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad side. But, and I've got some stories about that too.
I mean, it's a bad side of everything. But
yeah.
For what you've just said, I don't think a lot of people who are going to watch this appreciate quite how much camaraderie there is between bands. And, people think that a record label over here hate a record label over here. And it doesn't work quite like, it might do somewhere, but bands need to love other bands for the whole world of music to continue.
Yeah.
And
it used to be, I'm sorry, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love everything that you've just said about how you support them and you don't want the buy-in, but, help me and I'll help you. And then when I come back, who knows? I love that. Just remember, when I need to find a support slot, you'll return the favor. And human nature, right? In a perfect world, that would happen. But, these things that you do at the end of the day, man, for me, and I'm only human, and there are exceptions, a lot of them sometimes, but these things you do out of appreciation for the business, for the artistry, for the music to continue, the live music scene to continue, and you got to do it unconditionally. Just put it out, and never expect anything in return. That way, it's very fulfilling that way. It's when we get into expecting things that we set ourselves up for disappointment. Yeah. And so that's how I live, man. I try to live like that. I mean, I'm a complainer as good as anybody else. That's my that's my stress reliever. That's how I, but
because 90% of the time things won't go the way they're supposed to go, right?
Yeah.
Because in my world, everything is perfect if they do it my way. Good luck. So it's one of those things, man. It's all in all, it's I wouldn't change it for the world. You take the good with the bad. I have a few questions, Ben. How's it going with you guys?
Thank you. We're doing really well.
You're flying, yeah, you're flying hard, bro. Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, prior to, COVID, we had a big year planned this year. We were going out with Skid Row, and
I saw that. Yeah.
Love, and Winger was mentioned, and we had a lot going on, which obviously went on the back burner, but it's just rolled over to next year. And I found a silver lining in just, I was at home with my wife and little girl for a year.
Writing?
Yeah, well, I did a bit of writing, but largely I spent it family time that I would never have had.
Yes.
Wouldn't get back.
True. Very true.
At such a young age. But with the band, yeah, we've been writing, and we've got a good few gigs for the rest of this year. And then next year is just a long slog of touring.
That's good.
But it's going to be good. It's going to be really good.
Good for you, brother. I got to tell you, and I support what you just said too, because I come, my family too. We got reconnected. We actually didn't have a choice on top of each other. They got to know my good side and my bad side. We all have them, and but we reconnected in a very deeper way. In a much deeper way with my daughter. My daughter's 18. She just got out of high school, and she's moving to New York to continue her studies. And yeah, it's mind blowing. And then my son just started high school. So past couple of years, we went through that whole thing, where they're little children and they become adults. They're not B-adults anymore. They are adults, which I have a problem with because I've been a B-adult all my life and I'm going to stay there. But no, man, it's been great. The family thing, I have to say, really grounded me, and it gave me a different perspective. Again, what we were talking about earlier, where things that you take for granted, and just like that, man. It's one of those things where you take the good, you appreciate the good, and then now, after being with them, spending so much time, and you walk away. This is my second week, and I'm like missing them. I'm like, I'm a fish out of water. Now I'm on the other side, going, whoa. I used to wake up in the morning and there'd be breakfast, and we're all talking and hanging, and then my son and I doing a lot of stuff. We go to the beach. He surfs. He does. We do bike rides. We do all kinds of stuff. That's not there anymore. And then my daughter helping her with her music and every facet of her life, just turning into a very cool person. And my wife being the powerful person that she is at home, taking care of business with the kids, her own business, and the home. It's like my hat's off. She's my hero, man. She's amazing. So you get to appreciate that, right?
Yeah, absolutely, you do. I sometimes wonder how, if the shoe was on the other foot. I mean, my wife is an incredible singer, and that's how we met. But she basically gave it all up to let me go and follow the dream.
Yes.
I do sometimes wonder how on earth I would cope with 2 kids if it was flipped around. Hats off to.
Absolutely.
I've
had the opportunity of doing it when I go, when they were little, smaller anyway, younger. I'd go out and do, back in the day, we used to go out for 6-7 months at a time, So it's a long time. Then imagine. So then you come home and you're around for 2, 3, 4 months at a time. So we would switch. I got to experience that. And at the beginning, I'd be like, how the hell do you do all this crap? but then I get the hang of it, and those are the beautiful moments, man, that will, you'll remember for the rest of your life and their life. And now with this, there's memories everywhere, videos and all that. And I've gotten a little emotional now that I'm getting older, and they send me a little clip here, and I'm like a little girl, But so yeah, man, that's what keeps me grounded, because at the end of the day, that's why we work. We work so hard for our families to benefit. It's not about me. It's, we're taking care of the family. My daughter's, she's education in the U.S. is not, it's up there financially. So we all benefit from it, and they understand it, and they let me know they appreciate it every chance they get. So it's a beautiful thing, man. Very cool. So like you guys, man, 20 was the first year that I was going to go out. I had a bunch of festivals scheduled. The new album that was coming out, la 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 la. I was just moved out of the Dead Daisies, right? So I had time now. I had the time, and the label was okay. We're gonna drop it, and we're gonna get behind it, and then wah 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 wah.
Yeah. The world came crashing down.
Yeah, but yeah, which again, brings me to today. I really appreciate being out there, man. We did 3 gigs so far in the clinic, and I don't mind telling you, man, I'm a little out of shape. The thing here, you're thin. You're a little off the rhythm, and the travel and the interviews and all this. It's like you're constantly having to be on. You get to the venue and the fans are waiting outside and they want to take pictures, and I'm for some reason I forget to bring my lipstick and I forget to put it on, so it's like I'm not comfortable with it. But it's a lot of energy, and we're exchanging a lot of energy, and that can deplete you. And so I've noticed a little bit. I started noticing with my throat a little bit last night. I'm going, oh, it's cracking here. Oh, crack there. So I know the signs to just shut down, and rest and not talk to anybody and all that. But it's one of those things. But it's great, man. It's great to be in this business. That's all I want to say. All in all, with all the ups and downs, I wouldn't change it for the world. It's challenging in so many ways. But how beautiful is it when you get out there and you're playing, to a large amount of people, and they're singing your songs, and they're like freaking. You can't bottle that, man. You can't buy it.
No, no, it's incredible. Yes.
Yeah. And in my journey has been, that word's been coming up a lot, so I try to find an alternate. My journey has been one of those that when I started in the business, I fell into every hole that you can imagine, with drinking and drugging and the whole thing. And let's just say I saw the worst end of it. Like, think of the worst and then take a few steps below that. And I was lucky enough and blessed that in '87, September 20th, I came out. So I just celebrated 34 years last September 20th. So that's the other thing that's different. As I get older, I'm really appreciating that, because my awareness, it's, I'm here. I'm here today. I'm not taking any mind-altering chemicals. I'm not, numbing myself in any way. So I'm in touch with all my fears, all my insecurities, and all my challenges. They're right here, right there. So yeah, the little adrenaline rush just before you get on stage, it's like nothing else you can buy, man. I just got chills. You can't buy that stuff. So that's my high, the performing, when you find something in the studio that just gives you chills and you go, wait, where did that come from? Right? And It's amazing. It's amazing. That's what I thrive for. I thrive there, and I look for those moments, and that's what you're shooting for. So it's a good thing, man. It's a good thing. It's a privilege.
It's wonderful to hear someone who's been in the industry for so long still have this lust for it.
I do.
Get the chills, because I mean that's how I feel, and I mean we're only just beginning to get in.
Great beginning, bro. Great beginning, and there's nothing but great stuff coming your way. Be ready. Believe it. You got it. That's the other thing, and it's very true. You believe it, you see it, you project it, and eventually you're unaware of it. But when it starts happening, it's like, oh yeah, I remember. For example, I'll apply it to me again because whatever. When I started playing music, man, I got a hold of a Ted Nugent album out of nowhere. My buddies, you know, and I was in Mexico, remember? So we were like 10 years behind as far as new music was concerned. And I heard this song, man, Stranglehold, and I'm going, what? And the guitar solo, right from Mars, because it's the composition, the notes, the vibe, the singing, everything was just perfectly. It just took me. It's one of the longest songs, right?
Yeah.
Other than, and I'm gonna date myself now. Other than Inagata la Vida, you know, I Am Butterfly. That's a long song, but this one had the harmonies and the notes that he chose. Amazing, epic song. And then I find myself in the studio rehearsing with them, playing Stranglehold, and he's telling me this, you know, what the hell, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's a trip, man. It's in a lot of moments like that it happened. Same thing with David Coverdale and with Dolores O'Riordan. I'm going to start dropping names. I hate to do that, but let's just say, and now with Journey, bro, that's, you know, that catalog is just unheard of. The hits, the songs, you know, and then you find yourself on stage playing in front of 200,000 people at Central Park. Go, what the hell? So, you know, and you could see it. I'm like, I joke around with Dean, you know, Dean Casanova, the drummer singer. He's amazing. He's one of the most talented people I know, I have to say, with all due respect. And I know a few cats, but I just joke around. I'm pinching myself, bro. I'm pinching myself. and those are the moments that keep you going, you know. So as far as what we were talking about, you guys just started. Believe it, project it, it will happen. I really believe in that, man. And it sometimes it won't be easy to get there, and you'll go through some, you know, obstacles sometimes. But when you start realizing that you're getting there, it's just such a beautiful validation, and you go, wow, all that hard work, blood, sweat, and tears was worth it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a cool thing, man. Very cool. When are you, go ahead, bro.
Go on.
I love your hair, man.
Oh, thank you.
Very
fresh,
cool.
Fresh and fluffy out the bar.
I was going to say a lot of work. I remember those days. It's beautiful. If I could, maintain it. It was, you know, as you start getting older, you know, you got to do extra stuff to it. And I'm like, nah.
Do you, when you're in front of 200,000 people, do you find that like you blink and it's over?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially these ones in particular, because they were festivals, and they were the iHeart thing that we did in Las Vegas recently with Journey. It was 35-minute set.
Oh, wow.
With a catalog like Journey, you can play freaking 6 days, you know, without repeating a song. And it's true. I'm not exaggerating. When I got the call, man, I delved myself into as much as a catalog as I could. And I'm going, whoa. You know, same thing with Thin Lizzy. Same thing, you know. But you blink and you go through the adrenaline endorphin vibe, which is you know, you're floating. You're pretty much floating. You become a big brain that's floating because you don't feel your limbs. You're in the music, ears, your music, and you're enjoying the sights. And you go, look at the sea of folks, and you're playing, you go, and they're all singing, and it's like, and then boom, it's over. Thank you very much. See you next time. La. I'm going, what happened? It's a trip. It takes over, you know. That's when I know I'm in a good place. And then you get off stage and you're completely wet.
Yeah.
And then you go, that was one of the best shows. Last night, I don't mind telling you, without getting into the details, I had a rough gig. It was a rough gig. And then I had to come down because I was thinking too much. I was in the head. I was in the head thinking about the lyrics too much. I was, I had a hard time connecting with the audience, and the sound was whatever. I couldn't hear myself too well. La la la. The same old things that we all go through. And then at the end of the night, you know, we're doing the meet and greet and merch and all that. They loved it, man. And then I had to kind of switch and go, all right, it's about them. It's about them.
Yeah.
So, because as human beings and artists, and I apply this to all the arts, we have very high standards, man, for ourselves, correct?
Too true.
We're like, boom, boom. And so we can never, that's why the work is involved, because you're always trying to reach that, and you never will. For me, anyway. I will never get to that place, because there is no such thing as perfection in the music business, or in the music, or any other arts for that matter. It's the closest you can get to it that's exhilarating, you know. But let's just say I got 50% there last night, and I felt bad about it. And I started going through the day. I'm going, why was that? I did a couple of things I don't usually like to do before the show, you know, and I don't know about anybody else, but eating too close to the show is not a good thing for me.
No, never.
I don't know about you. So I made an exception. I had some dear friends that invited me to dinner that I hadn't seen, that are very cool people, and the boys in the band. You know, I got to mention Tommy Gentry and Kyle Hughes, who are killing it, man. They're from your land. A little Geordie cat, right? Geordie?
That's right. Yeah, that's it.
Kyle and then Tommy's from London. Great players, man. Hungry, thirsty, beautiful people, beautiful hearts, beautiful spirits. There's a couple of things that need adjusting, but but I have a lot of things that need adjusting. So, but on stage, man, we get to that place where it's just a cool thing. So yeah, eating was not good. Talking too much just before the gig, because I like to shut down, wake up and steam, open up, vocalize a little bit, practice a little bit on the bass, you know, and then visualize the show. That's it. Okay, the set list, boom, boom. Oh, cool. And then now I got to think, okay, Spanish, words, Spanish. And when it's flowing, it's a beautiful thing, you know. And last night the flow it's just not flowing. At the end of the day, they love the show. They're loving you. They're appreciating you because, you know, you're one of the first cats to come here from the other side of the ocean. And so that's what you take with you, right? You take that with you. And I can't wait to come back, you know. But yeah, man, you guys have a great journey ahead of you, bro. It's a beautiful thing. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. I think with last night's performance, however you felt about it, if you thought it was 50%, I think in some ways, from the small amount of experience I've had, is at the start of the tour, if something like that happens, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because you then think, right, I need to pick myself up now. Like, okay, we've been traveling and we've only just got here and we've only just started. Get that out of the way, and then it's only going to get better.
True.
I think.
Very true. Yeah, I agree 100%. These things happen so you can make the adjustment. One of which I cannot eat. And if I want to be social and hang out with folks, we can do it the first part of the day, not close to the show. And then I can have a little something light, you know, to eat or whatever. But eating here is such a big thing, and drinking, like it is everywhere else, right? So I don't drink, I don't eat, I don't smoke, I don't do any drugs. What do? I'm trying to stay away from sugar. I'm trying to get and be in the best shape as possible. What else did I share? Just, you know. But you do that, and that because people are smoking here, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and I'm like, wow. But that's another story. Yeah, you're right. At the beginning of the run, you make adjustments. Those things happen, so you can adjust. You know, so it's going to be okay. I had a good. We got invited to come back already. They're like looking forward to the next year, and so I'm talking to my agent, which is, you know, in Germany, and we're talking about finding the spot where the album's going to be released, get a single or two, and then booking dates behind that. And there's a few things brewing for me other than my solo thing, quite a few actually right now, that it's going to be a little bit of a juggle. I've been doing that my whole life. So yeah, that's one of those things, man, you know. But tell me about you guys, because I was very interested in hearing your side of the story, how you guys got together, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all.
Please. What was the beginning and all that, you know?
Well, the singer Angelo and the bass player Jack have been friends and in a band sort of with varying members for years.
Mm-hmm. You're out of what area?
We're in Kent, so that's an hour south of London.
Mm-hmm.
And we all live within sort of 30 minutes of each other.
Beautiful.
I then joined the band because they needed a guitarist. We shortly after needed a drummer, and then my friend Ben joined the band, and then it all just kicked off. It seems like the perfect little amalgamation of minds and players, singers. It all just seemed to work.
Cool.
So we did a couple of years just as a 4-piece, and then when COVID happened, we've been thinking about a keyboard player for a long time, and then it came to a point where we thought, well, we've got a year of no shows really, so why don't we have a look at some people and draft some in? So we then got Rob on the keys, and he's brilliant. He's really. I think you'd like him. He's a good man.
Cool.
And another guitarist, a friend of ours called Louis, and it's now a blazing 6-piece of just
big sound.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. I love two guitars. I love two guitar players that can sing BVs and lead sing. The keys, man, that adds the thickness and the layer. That, you know, I just love it. I love all that stuff. And well, great, man. You did some great stuff. I've heard some of it, and like I said, we were looking forward to hooking up, and we will at Rockstock, right?
Yeah,
I'm looking at the slot because we got invited later after the fact, because of 20 and all that, and I didn't know if I was going to be touring, so we got invited after they found out I wasn't going to be coming. So I'm going, yes, absolutely. So I'll find out what your slot is, and I'll be there all day. I'll try to hang out and check out some friends, say hello to some friends, you know.
Definitely. I'll be honest, I'm not upset that you pushed us further down the bill. It's okay.
Oh no. Hold on. Are you kidding me? Bro, I had nothing to do with it. My apologies. I'll make it up to you somehow.
No, don't worry. It's fine.
Yeah. Is that what happened? Because I'm being totally honest. I have no idea, bro, what happens. You know, in situations like that, it's I guess they decide whatever it is. You know, I was happy to get invited. I was happy to get anything, any slot, because the day was open, and I was committed to the Monster Fest the next day up in Inverness in Scotland. So actually, that's going to be a little bit of a funny one to get from one place to the other.
Yeah, that's quite.
But we found some flights, and early in the morning from Cardiff via Manchester, one of those, and then boom.
Oh, that's good.
BA or something. But so yeah, I'll get the hang, and that's towards the end of my tour. So I'll have, by then, hopefully I'm back in the rhythm and I have time to hang. That's the other thing that I miss, you know, the hang time, going to hear other music, and the leisure time, the fan side of me, you know, just come out and support other cats and get inspired also, because we're all learning from each other and inspiring each other. And so I'm looking forward to that one.
My second favorite thing about playing a festival, obviously the first is playing, but the second is the fact that I would have probably bought a ticket to that festival and gone and watched all the bands that I've idolized for years.
Yes.
And now, if I'm really cheeky, I can go backstage and say, hi.
Hi, Mickey. Exactly. I love that. That's true, man. Yeah.
No, it's really cool.
Very cool. I know. I love that part of it. I don't know if you've experienced. Oh, I just got invited to do the bass show next year. I was supposed to do it. It's gonna be in Blackpool, I believe.
Okay.
And we were supposed to do it in 20, obviously, and that got blown off. So 21 didn't happen. There was a chance it might have happened, and it didn't. Prime Minister Boris, sweetheart that he is, decided to extend the lockdown, and that created a lot of stuff back in June for me personally. So,
sure.
So we have a few dates, man, that I'm really happy that we still, you know, that we got to save some dates. Not as many as I was hoping, but folks were cool enough. A lot of them, I hear, decided not to get refunded, which is very sweet. And so, you know, I had to reciprocate and say, okay, let's find the first spot we can. And to be honest, that's where it began. I was making up for the dates in the UK, and then the other folks got a hold of it, that I announced the dates, and then I got invited here and there and everywhere, like the song goes. Great song. But so yeah, you know, it started being 5 dates in the UK, 6 dates, and now we're up to 30.
Brilliant.
Who knew? Thank God, you know. I'm very grateful. So that's what it is. But I'm looking forward to the festivals. I dig it. I really dig. I've done Rockstock quite a few times. With I think I want to say Lissy, Black Star Riders, Dead Daisies, and some other project. I might have done it with Soul Circus. I don't know if you're aware of Soul Circus.
Is that Jeff Scott Soto?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff Scott, Neil Sean. It was his baby, Neil's baby, and Dean Casanova on drums. And then something came up, he couldn't get on the road, so we got Virgil Donati. So you know, it was a great project, man. Great band. There was a lot of fire, a lot of electricity between all of us, man. It was just, Neil was just started a riff, man, and before you know it, boom, there's a track, and then start another riff, boom, and it's like that. I'm not exaggerating. We got together. I remember it was a Thursday. I flew up to San Francisco. We all got together on the Thursday. We recorded what would be the demos, roughs. Then we went in the studio. Dean and I went in the studio, and we did the rhythm tracks. We did like 6 or 7 in one day. Boom, 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 boom. Then we left. Everybody goes home. Jeff's, you know, grabs the stems, the files, and then we come back 3 weeks later, again on a Thursday. I don't know why, Thursday. And then we go back in the studio on Friday, and, you know, 3-4 weeks later, there's the album. Ta-da! And I'm hearing back some of this. It's very cool, man. Very cool vibe. It's unfortunate that, Neil has his gig, big, huge gig. So he had to bail. And then Jeff ended up singing for Journey there for a minute.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. It's very, very trippy history.
I've been speaking to Jeff Scott Soto a little bit recently because we're re-releasing our first album, which came out in 2019. We're re-releasing early. Is it late this year or early next year? I don't remember.
I'm sorry. What label? Because I forgot. What label is it on?
It's called Roulette Media. It's just a local
UK. Yeah.
Place, but they're really good to us. They're very kind.
Yes.
And so we're re-releasing it with some guest artists. So Jeff and Joel Hoekstra's on it.
Oh, nice.
Danny Vaughan, Key Marcel.
Nice.
We got the guys from Blackberry Smoke and the Cadillac 3. It's going to be really, really cool.
You say Danny Bowman?
Danny Vaughan.
Oh, Vaughan. I'm sorry. Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
But when I've been speaking to Jeff, he's just such a nice guy. He
is. He's a sweetheart. He's another talent, man. That cat can do it all. Amazing. He's a good friend, and I'm a big fan of his. He's mind-blowing. He really is. It's a trip. We just haven't reconnected. We say hello every so often. Oh, we saw each other in Sofia when they were out with the Apollo.
Nice.
The Sons of Apollo. Took a picture. I need to post that. I'm a big fan of all those guys, Portnoy and Billy and Derek. I've worked with Derek before, and Jeff, obviously, and Bumblefoot was there too, which is Kyle, my drummer.
Yeah,
has worked with him too. So it's a very the connections, right? What's the word? Incestual. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Quite the right word.
It's not quite the right word. It's very everything's interwoven. It's very it's a small world.
Well,
boom.
It's a family. That's what it is.
Yes, we're a family, but it is very true. But so if you don't mind, I'll mention the dates in the UK coming up. November 3rd, The Underworld. I love that. In Camden, the station in Cannock. Am I saying it right? Cannock. Thank you. Southampton, the 1865 on the 6th to 7th, Real Time, Chesterfield, 8th, the Vibe Bar in Scarborough, the 9th, Trillions in Newcastle. I love that place. And Rockstock, obviously in Treco Bay, Monster Fest. I'll be there for 2 days. And then Cairn Hotel in Carbridge, it's a little hang. I have a friend there that owns the place. The family owns the place. And every time I'm in the area, they're sweethearts, man. They spoil me. They roll out the red carpet. And it'll be a small, intimate thing. I might even do some acoustic songs. It's just, and so I always try to stop by and say hello. I love it up there. And then we'll finish in this is Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Did I say it right? Dreadnought and Bathgate.
Nice.
So and now, believe it or not, I'm getting offers now, possibilities in Denmark and in Romania. So it might be a little longer. Yeah. So I'm sorry.
Excellent. That's really good.
Yeah. And to be honest, everybody I work with, all these dates are people that I worked with before in other configurations and other projects. And we just get along well, and they're very supportive of my career, where I've been, and they get the solo thing. They appreciate that I'm trying to do something here that it's not that easy.
Absolutely.
But I always walk away with the glass half full every time. So that's important. Lots to talk about, Todd. Tons.
Talk about.
Yes. Yeah.
For now, I thank you for all your time.
Oh, my pleasure, man.
Take up any more of your voice for today.
Yeah. I've got a couple of things I'm doing for it, and I'm going to try and walk and exercise a little bit.
Get some fresh air.
Get some fresh air. It's beautiful here, so it'll be good. It'll be good. Good day off, and then we start travel tomorrow. Travel gig. So that's that's the hardest part of the whole thing. I don't know how much experience you guys have had out of the whole process.
We've done a bit, mainly in the UK, but even that, still the travel does take it out of you.
Right. That's the hardest part of the whole process, man. It's, shutting down when you're traveling and just getting into your little cave, and just resting, doing something visual that's inspiring and feed your spirit somehow. I try to do that, and I try not to listen or look at the news.
No.
It's sad, man. What's going on? It's media, They got to sell it. So controversy and bad things, negative things sell. That's the bottom line. So, but man, Todd, I've enjoyed this, man, very much so, man. We got to do it. We got to get updated soon.
Yeah, definitely. And for the viewers watching this, don't watch the news. Watch Marco's Instagram, because he's always really happy.
You know what? I hear that a lot, and it's true. It's not a put on. It's just who I am. I choose to live on the brighter side of life. Every morning we wake up and we decide where we want to live. And then if I wake up in a bad mood for whatever the reason, I remind myself, listen, right now you can change it and make it a better day. We have that ability. And so I've learned to do that. And so, choose to be positive today, optimistic, choose to be brighter, walk on the brighter side of the street. La, la, la. Singing in the rain.
That's
it. You
it.
know what I mean? True, very true, brother. My pleasure, bro. Say hello to your brothers for me, and I'm looking forward to hearing you guys, and much success coming your way. Power, music is where it's at. You know that.
Thank you. Until we meet at Rockstock, have a great, safe, wonderful tour, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Signing out.
You.
Bye.
I'll see you later.
Goodbye.